This is Denmark. It's a nice place, a place where we're known to be very happy, but can also be very serious. And what we're serious about is health. Because health is serious business, and at our hub, we feel that tech can make health be everyone's business. Now, Nordic Health Tech is our baby. So what makes our baby special? It's 3 elements. First, evidence. Denmark is deeply embedded in research, so much so that going to market sometimes takes a long time. Seriously, sometimes a bit too long. Second, quality. It's pretty good. With the most centralized health infrastructure in Europe, we have the right conditions to develop well-tested and high-quality solutions here. And third, heart. As a society, we deeply believe that every person should have the choice to be in good health, and we infuse that in our tech. So here at the Hub, we only work with mature solutions, high quality, evidence-based, and with a beating heart for good. This is the best way to reach 1 billion people. Now join us, and we'll do great together.
In 2030, we are projected to be missing 6 million healthcare staff in the EU and US. At Titan AI, we cannot replace a nurse, but we can take away time-consuming work from their day and in that sense, increase care capacity. My name is Mikkel Vad Thorsen. I'm the CEO and founder of Titan AI. We've built what we call a general spatial intelligence. Our solution is called Nightingale, and the real beneficiaries are the nurses in the ward and of course the patients. So what we aim to do is to take away time-consuming and redundant work from nurses and give them more time to interact with their patients. When staff leaves the patient room, they don't really know what's going on with the patient. There's a lot of information being lost there. We want to capture that information and make it valuable and available. The clear benefit for the patient is that the staff always knows what's going on with the patient. The system interprets the episodes inside the patient room and gives that information to the staff immediately. In the future, I see solutions like this being in basically every hospital around the world. There's just too much valuable information being lost. Right now, it's just a matter of how valuable can a company like Titan AI make this information for the staff.
Hi, my name is KHORA. If you ever wanted to get the right treatment at any time, then please listen in, because we convert treatment guidelines into workflows and serve them right like a route plan is being served by GPS today. The GPS analogy excuse me, is such that a GPS is on the left and what we do is on the right. A GPS will serve you a route plan by converting the maps into a digital format. And we've done exactly the same thing, converted the guidelines into a digital format so you can be sure to be conveyed correctly, and you can deviate if you want to do that. For example, if it says that you should have chemotherapy, but you don't want to have it, then it will replan accordingly. It works by mapping out the treatment from the initial diagnosis until you are cured. And there are a lot of steps to go through, and it will handle them all. And one such step is the genetic assessment. So if you test positive for BRCA, you have an elevated risk, which it should take into account when it selects things like which surgery you should have. If you don't test positive for BRCA, then your family membership should be looked at. If one or more family members has had breast cancer, for instance, your mother has had breast cancer and she was born at that point in time and she was 37 when she got breast cancer, then you too have an elevated risk even if you test negative for BRCA. If she was 45, you don't have an elevated risk because it says if only your mother has had breast cancer and she had it at the age of 45, then you are not in any kind of risk. And it will take this information into account and many other things. What we'd like you to do is to help us getting this tried out, and maybe we can help with curing cancer. The point is that QGBS technology has been developed, so we're not asking for newly developed products and finance for that. We have it already, and we can use it for breast cancer. But the problem we have is that it's unbelievable in that doctors don't think that this is possible. But if they try it out, we hope to show that they will be able to increase their treatment quality. And at least we know that they can document it so that the patient will be able to verify that the treatment is optimum and in line with the treatment guidelines. And therefore, we think a lot of money can be earned. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this short presentation, and then see you out there. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, this is Gajanan Sakre, founder CEO of BRIOTA. BRIOTA works on lung health. Our mission is to help more than 1 million patients suffering with lung conditions such as COPD, long COVID, asthma or ILD by year 2028. So what's the problem that we are dealing with? As everyone knows, lung health is a massive challenge, especially COVID-19 has exposed what kind of healthcare facilities we have when it comes to dealing with a pandemic which affects lung health. So that's where back in 2018, because of my personal experience of working on asthma for my mother, I decided to start focusing on asthma first. But as we started looking into this problem, we realized that both COPD, asthma, and now long COVID are massive global challenges. There are already 750 plus million patients globally, and there is a shortfall of 4.3 million healthcare workers. The problem with lung health is massive, but there is a very specific unmet need that we see. Both these diseases, COPD and asthma, are turning out to be giant killers. The patients are too many, but pulmonologists are too few. So what are the unmet needs that we see? A, frequent monitoring. B, optimized disease control. C, personalized intervention. And when you don't have any of your pulmonologists available at a scale, this unmet needs become huge. So what's our solution? So we have created a solution which is a no contact AI, which democratizes lung health. So we have a hardware kit which can be used for remote diagnosis as well as monitoring. We have a no contact software which kind of mimics what a pulmonologist would do in terms of deciding the treatment plan, also on checking on patient's health. And we also have a software which works for telehealth. We also have built in India a proprietary hardware just to reduce the cost of diagnosing asthma and COPD. We have India's first handheld and also the most affordable handheld spirometer called SpiroPro. Currently, we are building world's first handheld 5G enabled impulse oscillometer system with Qualcomm, which would be again a very affordable as well as accessible system to diagnose asthma at an early stage. We help patient, doctor, and also the insurance provider as well as public health providers. We have done few clinical studies and we have seen encouraging results. Just by using our system for over a period of 24 weeks, we saw that 168 hospital bed days were saved when we were doing this study with 120 asthma and COPD patients. Our product and solution is at a good stage in terms of development. We have already done a validation in India where we used our solution during COVID-19 pandemic and helped more than 40,000 patients. And currently we are doing early pilot with government of Maharashtra for taking our solution to primary healthcare centers. The market is huge. It's definitely over few $1 billion. These are some of the screenshots of projects SAVE that we are trying to do with government of Maharashtra for early diagnosis as well as management of COPD and asthma. And what we really want to do is take this solution to other countries. This is our team which has a good experience working in healthcare startups as well as with large companies. So we are based in Denmark as well as in India. Our advisory board is also consists of people who have worked in large corporations specifically on democratizing healthcare. Our ask is first opportunities to do large scale pilots on COPD and asthma, and also establish collaboration partnerships with hospitals and universities in the US and finally ask for some funding support for our project SAVE. Thank you.
My name is Benjamin, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer in Hedia. So Hedia is a Danish-based company working to help diabetic patients to live a better life. So today, approximately 500 million people are living with diabetes. A lot of them are not getting the support that they're supposed to. Take an example of our founder, Peter. So Peter is living with type 1 diabetes. He has a stressful life. He has 2 kids. He has a job to take care of. On top of that, he also needs to manage his diabetes. It means taking care of how much insulin he should be taking, when to take it, how many carbs he can be eating, how much exercise, and all these factors is something that he needs to take into consideration on a daily basis. This is where Hedia comes into play. So Hedia is a platform helping diabetic patients to better self-manage. We take into consideration the factors of diet, exercise, the blood sugar measurements, and based on that, we basically give patients personalized recommendations on how much insulin they should be taking and when they should be taking it. This is specifically targeted for insulin-requiring diabetics. This is approximately 20% of all diabetes patients in the world, so a huge group. The team is consisting of a lot of different competencies. So we have our own tech team, we have our own medical and clinical affairs team, we have our own regulatory team, we also have a design team. So we basically cover everything from end to end when it comes to developing and scaling a digital therapeutics company. On top of that, we are also having a data science and AI team now working on the future product of Hedia. So Hedia is basically allowing patients to enter their blood sugar measurements, diet, exercise, in order to give them these personalized recommendations. We're the only solution that takes all these factors into consideration. So the market today is very much focused around the big manufacturers, the likes of Abbott, Medtronic, and Dexcom. What they don't do is give personalized recommendations based on the readings that is coming from their devices. And this is where Hedia fits in. In the future, we will also be building an AI in order to do more predictions for this patient group as well. Now, of major milestones, Hedia is a Class 2B medical device. We're in 11 countries. We have signed the first commercial deals, and we're now also looking to sign the first deals with payers in UK and in Germany. For the future, we're looking to extend our business model to new countries, creating reimbursement models, and also new clinical and research partnerships to ensure that the product also lives up to the criteria and builds the best solution for patients living with insulin-requiring diabetes. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dr. Farah Shiraz, and I'm the Chief Scientific Officer at KHORA based in Copenhagen, Denmark. Just to begin by telling you a little bit about KHORA and what we do. KHORA is a leading Scandinavian virtual reality and augmented reality production studio. And in the last 6 years, we have produced over 300 VR and AR products, with 80 of those products related to healthcare. The main focus of today's pitch is KHORA's expansion into utilizing VR methods within the mental health landscape and introducing our product called Challenge. Challenge is a VR-based psychological tool that can be used by mental health professionals to aid the treatment of patients with schizophrenia suffering from malevolent auditory hallucinations or voices using immersive virtual reality technology. The problem we are addressing is relating to patients suffering with schizophrenia, particularly patients who suffer from hearing voices. Schizophrenia is a complex and expensive mental health condition with auditory hallucinations affecting 70% of patients. For the patients, these voices are very real perceptions and not imaginations. It is common for these voices to be negative, critical, and unkind, and patients frequently describe how sometimes these voices can bully them and tell them to do things that they don't want to do. This can have an impact on the patient's confidence, sense of self-worth, and also contribute to social isolation. For the patients and for the patient's family, the illness is combined with extensive social and psychological costs. Economically, schizophrenia is one of the most expensive illnesses in the world. And for many patients, treatment still continues to be insufficient. We know that 30% of patients will still hear malevolent voices despite medical and psychological interventions. How are we at KHORA trying to solve this problem? KHORA has created software where patients together with a therapist create and have a dialogue with a 3D digital representation of their voice in a virtual reality setting using a VR headset. You may ask how the avatar is created. So you can see here we have a face creation module where the therapist can create a visual representation of the patient's malevolent voice, where gender, age, and facial characteristics are all customizable. In addition, they're able to create a voice for the avatar to allow them to replicate the voice that they hear and have been hearing for many, many years. They are able to change the age, again, the gender, the pitch, and other traits to resemble the patient's voice, the patient's persecutory voice that they've been hearing. Using approximately around 8 to 10 therapy sessions, the patient and therapist then work together and engage in a dialogue with this avatar that they have created in the VR and practice to confront it whilst the therapist is acting between being the therapist and being an avatar via this real-time voice modulation feature. We believe that the therapy will help the patient learn to become more empowered and stand up to the voices, which will help improve their mental health and well-being significantly. There's a huge global market for this product, as over 20 million of the world's population suffer from schizophrenia, with a minimal alternative treatments to medication for auditory hallucinations in particular. We know that the number of people being diagnosed with schizophrenia continues to increase, and countries are looking for new ways of treatment. We believe this treatment has the possibility to become part of the gold standard treatment for patients who are hearing voices. The serviceable market includes hospitals with mental health facilities, as well as private therapists with their own practice. And most importantly, we know that patients with schizophrenia look for reduced dependency on medication, and this product can provide an alternative method when medication doesn't work. We have achieved our initial goal of setting up a clinical trial to test the challenge product through pilot study and testing. Our next priority is to further test the product internationally and improve on the existing software. We're still awaiting for the results from the clinical trial, but we are confident that we are able to see positive findings. In addition, we aim to commercialize the product, and our ultimate goal is for the product to become part of the gold standard treatment for patients suffering with auditory hallucinations. I just want to introduce you to our team, some of our challenge team that combines the best minds in innovative VR technology alongside leading clinical experts in mental health across Denmark. As CSO, I myself have over 20 years experience within the mental health field, both in clinical and in an academic settings. I am leading the project alongside Professor Mirella Nordentoft, who is a professor in psychiatry at Copenhagen University and a consultant psychiatrist at Mental Health Center here in Copenhagen. She's also one of the leading globally recognized experts in psychopathology and early intervention in psychosis. She is the principal investigator of the clinical trial that is currently running across Denmark, alongside Dr. Louise Glenfoy, who has also significant expertise in psychotherapy and working with patients with schizophrenia. I just want to end with a quote from a patient who has been participating in our clinical trial, just to show you the impact that this intervention possibly can have. I have become stronger. I can see that the voice has lost power. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to share more information about Challenge with you.